Alright, just a quick video here. There's one thing that I wanted to just kind of show off that this is pretty cool. So if you notice, you have all of these captain orders over here. So I'm going to click on move to fish. And basically you can sort of imagine as if there was a captain of the boat with you who will follow directions based on what's going on with you and the fishing that you're doing. So we have hooked into simply using a octopus imitation bait on a carp feeder rod. We've hooked into some fish that was large enough that it was worth trying to chase down here on the boat. So the captain's gonna drive all the way till we are sort of on or above the fish, and then he will sort of stop. And if the fish continues to run and move, then we'll need to click on move to fish again. Obviously you see there's a rotate button, there's sort of a cancel button. There's also, makes it very easy to go trolling speed, and if you have the direction set up you can also go to middle and full speed. So some really cool options just to give you a few more a little bit more autonomy while you're fishing, so that you don't have to put the rod down and make adjustments yourself in terms of controlling the boat. So maybe not every command you can imagine, or I'm sure there's some situations that it could still be a little difficult, but for the most part this makes fishing larger fish on maybe gear that's not quite prepared for that size fish, or I'm guessing the largest fish you really have to sort of chase down regardless of how strong your gear is. Okay, so now at this point we have reached the destination. So this is now where we will want to see how much strength does this fish still have. Are we going to be able to pull him in, or is he going to start to gain more line on us? And it might be, oh, okay, that's interesting. I don't want to jinx it. This might be a fish species that I haven't caught yet. Let's see if we can snag it. Yeah, this is my first tuna. So you see it's green, that means it's like average size. You know, it's not a large one, so it's not blue, and it's not a trophy or legendary size or whatever. But it's a tuna, and that's the first one I've ever caught. 16 kilos, pretty nice size, just over 2,000 XP, so okay. I don't know what the silver will be like. But while we're talking about that fish, we can now open up our map, and let's say I want to go to 265 411. I click on that and then go over here, move to point. Captain understood the direction, so now we can just kind of hang out waiting on his driving us to that place. And I just wanted to kind of quickly show you what I actually caught the fish on, which was this Octopus M1. It's one of the artificial baits you can fish with. You can also attach these to the bottom of pilker setups, which is what I sometimes do.
The destination point has been reached.
So we are already at the destination, in which case we want to get our rods back out. So on this pilker, we're using sort of a similar thing. So I'll be put a gummy mac on there. Yeah, now we've got some variety. I'm trying to use all artificial just to see how that works. So I might want to cast that out and set that down. We're not going to let it go down all the way to the bottom just yet. Now, worth noting that where I caught that tuna was not actually at the bottom. I'm finding that I like putting these sort of mid-water. This one I'm using a size 2 hook and a gummy mac actually. If I put it on the bottom, I'm likely to catch things like the flounder, some of the flatfish. So I'm trying to test this stuff out more in the mid-water, and then once I've done that, I can pick up the pilker rod. I have figured out though, if you hit the letter T on your keyboard, that will open the bail once again. And I don't know how much pilker we can do without it being in the bottom layer. It might work really well, but thus far, I've been pretty much pilkering in the bottom layer. So I'm going to pause the recording of this video, and next time I have a fish, I'll unpause it so I can at least give you a second fish here in this video. All right, this is kind of perfect. So after having to chase down that last fish, we actually had another Atlantic salmon come in on the pilker, and at the same time we caught this fish on a shiner live bait. So if we can go move to fish. Destination's been reached. Okay, so we're actually on top of the fish right now. It's just the trick is, can we bring it up? So we have this daily for Atlantic salmon. We actually need a lot. So I was trying to find baits that might consistently bring them in. Looks like the pilker rod's gonna often bring them in anyway. I did experiment, and you can pilker at like 20-25 meters and catch fish. And I seem to catch fish as often as I catch fish like pilkering. I catch them almost as often just like sitting there. So that was a tuna. That actually makes me kind of wonder what it would be like to go maybe with an octopus on this line. All right, let's get back to the location. 265, 411. 265, 411, create label. And this was just meant to be a possible shark location. I just frankly haven't found them yet. Let's go to a slightly different location though. Close, but slightly different. So this will move us there. I'm gonna drop this in the water. I'm just gonna let it just like what I assume is maybe around 20 meters right there. And this one, I'm actually going to put the shiner live bait on, I think. Because if that shiner live bait is going to catch potentially a combination of... Where is the shiner live bait? Can I do up to size... Oh, it must be grayed out for the reason of what type of hook I have on. Yeah, there it is. So 1 to 3. So we can't use like a carp hook or a regular hook. Now we could put the small shark hook. Okay, this is going to be interesting. One thing I like about using these shiner live baits is you can get them for so cheap. Oh yeah. We don't want that to go too far towards the bottom. All right. Anchor is down. Oh, that's actually a question. You know, when we're doing pilker, we may not want anchor down. Let me know in chat if you've practiced with this, if you want anchor down or not when you're doing pilker. All right, I'm gonna stop at about 30, and we're gonna do a little bit of pilker action at 30, unless we get a quick bite here. Once again, I will. But you see, we're getting pilking. So you don't have to be in the bottom layer, which of course makes sense. I just didn't know how this game would work with that. So I will try different things, pilking at 30, 25, maybe even 20. But like I said before, a lot of times I get the bite when I just let it sit there for a minute, especially with us moving around in the current. Probably got some pretty good movement. Okay, again, I'll come back one more time. I'm not going to make a super long video, but I'll come back one more time with kind of how this is going, results of how this is going. All right, so next fish is on the octopus. Again, sort of mid-water on octopus. With a pretty small treble hook, which seems to be more appropriate for what size gear we're working with on this third rod. And I'm up to 25,000 silver. So once we get up a little higher, I mean, at some point I'll bite the bullet and get a second pilker rod. I would like to have 2 pilker rods and 1 just straight carp bottom rod going. In terms of like going for larger fish here, that seems like a good amount of options we'll have at this point if we do that. All right, another small tuna. So we're seeing that if I put, and again, I don't know how much these are worth, but I'm seeing that if I put really lots of different baits in the midwater, what I'm tending to see is a decent amount of tuna. Maybe I'm going to let it go a little farther down this time. We'll see. This is where you want to use rainbow line on everything. If you can. I don't know if rainbow line's required for... So you see how far it goes to the bottom. That's 52 meters. All right, let's pull it about halfway. Like that should be about what we're looking for. All right, what are we at? 30 here? Try more like 25. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Again, on the octopus, I'll just stick with it for a couple more minutes here and see see if we can get another bite. This may be the last fish. We'll see. I want to certainly end the video in town and kind of see how some of this is how much silver some of this is worth. I'm curious about those tuna. Obviously, I would imagine, as with most fish, if we can get up into the larger size tuna, the price will probably go up pretty dramatically. These like small to average size tuna might not be that impressive, but I don't know. We'll see when we get to town. I also want to remind myself just how much we're talking about. Is that another tuna? So there's just really a lot of tuna out here. Might not be the size we want. There is a lot of tuna. I wonder if these... Okay, it doesn't look like... Oh, we could turn these tuna into sea fillets. Wait, do I have sea fillet as a bait already? I think I do. I think I made something into a sea fillet one time. Okay, maybe not. So, do you turn sea fillet into something else? Oh, it's bundles of fit. No? You make a bunch of fish meat and you turn that into a sea bunch. A bunch of mole crickets. That's funny. I really thought I had already done this with the... Alright, we'll turn one of these into a sea fillet. Alright, now let's see where that went. Did it go anywhere? Alright, sea fillet. Is it one of those things that's like looking me straight in the face and I'm just not seeing it? For some reason, maybe it's not listed under baits. That gave us lump of algae times 2. Wow. Well, now we'll see if this is another tuna. But the whatever this is, the octopus, just with this smaller hook, in terms of bite rate, this is where we're catching most of our fish here recently. But if it's another tuna, it's a very, it's a small tuna. I don't know where that sea fillet is going or what we're supposed to do with it. Now, I could have the boat move to fish, but we're pretty much just reeling it straight in, so I think I'm not going to do that. 404, 444. Right there. So I guess they're fishing for Atlantic salmon from shore. It's just coming to me. I'm just realizing the significance of the fact that we're able to fish. Oh, it is another just small tuna, isn't it? Yeah, it's just not what we want to be catching on this rod. We want to catch larger tuna than that, I guess is what I'm saying. And for some reason, this rod is just getting tons of those small tuna. And I think ever since I took off the live bait and just depended on the pilker, that's when we stopped having a good, what if I put this on the bottom? That's when we stopped having a good bite rate with the pilker setup, I feel like. Yeah, so even though I put it on the
Chasing fish.
on the bottom this time, it still seems like I might have caught a tuna. I don't know, we'll see. Perhaps not. But it feels mighty big. Maybe it'll just be a nice size Atlantic salmon.
The destination point has been reached.
We're on top of the fish. That doesn't mean we're close at all to getting it in, though, does it?
The destination point has been reached.
Yeah, so he's just sort of straight down below us. All right, it's gonna be a fight. Let me get him a little closer, and then I'll be back. All right, so again on the octopus, I've really just been getting the best bite rate on imitation octopus, but either way, let's see what some of these fish are worth. Let's head to town. I have moved around, still sort of on the same side of the map, but just seeing different species, especially as it gets into nighttime. Things have changed a little bit, but still good fishing, fun to use. I just need to keep doing some more testing. I can tell that some of the combinations of things I'm using on the pilker rod hasn't been the best. It's taken a lot longer to find a fish. Also, I'm curious about trolling the pilker rod. I don't know if that's a thing or not. So yeah, we'll just have to do some more testing. Let's get this fish in, and then let's just see how we have done just in terms of silver. By the way, the fish pieces, or the pieces of fish, fillets of fish, I guess, that we made, those are a cooking ingredient. I finally found them in one of the other categories. It's now something I can use to cook with, apparently. There's so much that's changed in this game that... Oh, that's a nice sized European hake, actually. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay. Go ahead and bring everything in to make sure we don't leave anything on the boat, or, I don't know, do anything weird. So I actually do like this spot, kind of closer to the shore, although I haven't been able to figure out. I'm not sure that it might be a little too shallow to try to do the pilker rod. That's the only thing I haven't figured out. But it is cool seeing all the different things we can do with driving the boat, with having that captain aboard. So yeah, not bad. Even the small tuna are worth an okay amount. Obviously, once you get into the regular size, then we're doing a lot better, just like the large Atlantic salmon. That hake we just caught, coming in at 49 silver. Interesting that this herring, even though it's a nice size, only worth 37. Flounder, we did all right. 649. I mean, you know, we're making good silver. We're slowly getting more and more, so we will definitely take it. Okay, as always, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.